What's happening, disc golf fans, and welcome back to the channel. And if you're new, welcome. I'm here with another disc golf adventure. Let's get into it. All right. Today we are in Waleska, Georgia, at Reinhardt University Disc Golf Course. And Waleska, that's northwest of Atlanta, northwest of Canton. And it's a pretty cool park, pretty good disc golf course. Check this out. So here's walking up to hole 1. There on the left side of that tree, there on the sidewalk, is a tee pad. And it's marked pretty well with what UDisc has going on. At 305 on the sign, 302 on UDisc. So here's the signs you're looking for. So if you don't know the course very well, take a picture of that map. Make sure you got UDisc and help find the next hole. So here's a good look at it with the actual hole, and check this out. Pretty cool. You're throwing down to that big tree in the middle, and basket's just past that on the left side. Again, it's only 305 feet downhill. Little better shot. You're looking at it right between those trees. And moving on to hole 2. This is a beautiful hole. You're throwing from here. You're going either over the water, but you're going to the left on that hillside. And it's kind of pointing to where that basket's at. That's, again, 305, 304 on UDisc. But great looking hole. And here you can see it's up on the side of the hill. Again, just kind of hyzer it out and come in somewhere close to that hillside so you can toss it up there. Hole 3, it's around the corner from 2, so you just finish walking on around the trail that's there. And this is a par 4, 490 on the sign, 561 on UDisc. That's quite a bit of difference, but I don't know. It's a long hole for sure. And you're curving up between those 2 big trees. You're hooking to the right, and once you're there, moving on to hole 4. Hole 4 is a 230, 216 on UDisc, and you are looking right toward the basket there. Yeah, it's kind of down in there. You can kind of see it. Let me see here. And here's a better look at the basket there in the middle. Yellow band, hole 4. All right, moving on to hole 5. Hole 5 is 250 feet, 249 on UDisc. And you are hooking this one up and down to the left. So you're going uphill on the fairway, and it curves downhill on the left to get to the basket. So it's a cool shape. And there's pointing at the basket there. Get a little better shot here of it. All right, hole 6. You're looking at 230 feet, 235 on UDisc, and you are heading up, get a better shot of it here, through the gap to the right, and it's to the basket. You wish you were throwing off of hole 3 because this wasn't as long, but you'll see kind of a better angle at it here, around the corner and up to the basket. So, not bad. Moving on to hole 7. You've got this one right by the water, 275, 276 on UDisc, and just on the side of the little drainage area that leads into the pond, and you got to stay to the left, stay out of the water. It's just right at the end of that where the I guess the water comes in. I think it comes in or goes out. Probably goes out. Yeah, we'll see. But here you're looking at the basket, straight at the end of that waterway. All right, pretty cool. Moving on. Now on the other side of the waterway, here's hole 8. And you're looking at 375 par 4, 371 par 4 on UDisc, and it's pretty generous par 4, but it's uphill. So it's a boost. It's a pull that you got to get up that hill, up near that building, a little bit to the right of those trees that you can see up by the building, and that's where you're heading. And it's a uphill climb for sure. And here's a little better look at it. Doesn't look like a whole lot, but that's exactly where you're heading. You can see that yellow dot. That's the basket. So you've got a little bit of backdrop. If once you start getting close, you can get up there, and nothing really in the way. Just it's a big hill, no doubt. All right, hole 9 is your water hole. 290 on the sign, 278 on U-disc, and it's across the water right there in that corner. So I mean, again, it's got some backdrop if you want to hit that and go for it, or you can take the shorter route and go toward the levee on the left side there, and there's also a shorter T-pad over there. Recommended. I've got a few of them in that pond. That happens. Hole 10, just on the other side of that walkway, or where the basket was, you walk to the right and you'll see hole 10, which is 325 on the sign, 337 on U-disc, and here's what you're looking at. Right there, straight ahead to that big tree. You've got your basket up there. Let me see if we can see it here. All right, just past the basket, you'll come to this sign. So it uses the same T-pad for both baskets. So here we're heading to the right, hole 11, and that is 315 on the sign, 318 on U-disc, and it is pretty much right there and around the corner where you're heading. So throwing it out straight, hook to the right, and down a valley and up a hill. Well, we'll get a better look at it here. But around the corner, you're heading to the base, pretty much to the right of that big tree that you see there on the right. You're heading to, you're really heading to the left of that tree, the base of that tree. All right, and there's a look at it. Good looking hole. Usually nothing else in the way. The tree, if you get short and left too soon, that big tree will become a problem. All right, but from there, you go up to further up to the top of the hill. Up by that building, you've got a T-pad for hole 12. Hole 12 is 325 on the sign, 329 on U-disc. And here's a look at where you are throwing. So throwing out, and again, you're going to hook to the right, down a valley and up the hill. So there it is across the little valley there and up on the hill. Looks like it's by the building, but not really close to it unless you really overthrow it. All right, and then moving on. Hole 13, 240 on the sign, 249 on U-disc. And this one's back to that sign where we just saw it had 11 and 13 on it. So now you're heading to the left. And you are throwing right up in that area. Let's see here. And here's a better look at it. Right up to the left of that little drainage area. And just stay clear of those things. Hole 14, 210 on the sign, 193 on U-disc. And from here, from that last basket, you're heading to the left, walking up the sidewalk a little bit to this point on the sidewalk. You're throwing between those trees. There's a big Mando sign up there to the trees, and there's a basket on the left out there in the open field. You just got to make that Mando. Not a tough shot for a lefty sidearm, but that's where you're heading to. And this makes it to hole 15. 260 on the sign, 255 on U-disc, and from there you're walking around to the corner. Let's see. All right, so you got to get to the right of that big tree and out in the open. You can see the basket there just on the left side of the screen, but to the right of that big tree. So you got to get out there and get to that. Hole 16 is 300 feet on the sign, 290 on U-disc, and you are heading downhill. You stay out of the trees on the left side. And here's where you're heading. I mean, right there, there's a look at it. All right, it's a little tough to see, but I'm trying to point at it, but that's where you're heading. And that power pole, light pole right there is where hole 17 is. Okay, and there's 17 right there on the light pole. And it's 230 feet. The sign, 190 or 189 on U-disc. And you're heading up to that corner in between the light pole and that bush. And now you're at hole 18, heading back to the beginning. 330 on the sign, 316 on U-disc, and you are heading straight ahead here. All right, kind of in the shadow. Stay out of the trees on the right, those big bushy trees there, and kind of in the shadow right ahead of you there. And if you go left, you might go down the hill, and stay out of that. And here we are, hole 18. So this moderately hard, but fairly easy. Established in 222 with a major makeover. They have some old basket or old tee pads and such. I'll show you here in just a minute. Mixed-use park, of course. Restrooms and drinking water available in that building right by where this map is and where the first tee pad is. And here's one of the old ones. Just wanted to show you what those look like. Like I said, drinking water is available. It's cart friendly, but not stroller friendly. All right, that's all the time we have left for today. Be sure to like and subscribe and tell your friends about this channel. And we'll catch you on the next one. See ya!